Chapter 3. The Art of Reciprocity. Master. The Bible, the sages of all time, all sources of real truth, unite in absolute agreement concerning one great thing, namely, that God and man are one, and not two, that the two are not separated, but indissolubly joined in perfect and harmonious union. The invisible spirit and the visible form or matter actually are inseparably connected. Each is a complement of the other, and the whole of truth is to be found only in the combination of the two, which really are not two, but one through eternal union. Pupil. I am particularly happy about this conclusion because I used to think that a person could not have both spiritual and physical blessings at one and the same time. I thought that the physical world had nothing of God in it. Yes, I thought that spirit was utterly separated from form or matter. Now I feel sure that the reason I did not make any real progress then was that I was trying to have an inside for life without an outside, and an outside without any inside. In other words, I was simply living in the physical world without being conscious of the fact that forever I have a direct connection with the spiritual realm. I am right, am I not, in believing and feeling that I must have the realization that each is vitally necessary to the other for the formation of a substantial entity? Master. Yes, you are exactly right. No one can go very far on the great highway of truth unless he realizes that there never was and never will be an inside to anything without an outside also. While one is visible and the other invisible to the human eye, the only reality is in the combination of the two. A constant awareness of this fact on our part brings us the radiant realization of oneness, of union, that we must have if we hope to make any progress in truth. Pupil. After this one basic realization, what other truth must we have? Master. We must know that underlying the totality of all things is the source of all things, the great cosmic intelligence. We must know that no physical thing of itself only can ever create anything. The physical form is the instrument that life, God, fashioned of his own essence, in order to have something through which he could work his wonders, and give them form also. But he always lives in that instrument. Do not ever lose sight of this fact. The power is always greater than the form through which it manifests, just as electricity is infinitely greater than the bulb through which it manifests as light. It is through union of forms, positive with negative, or masculine with feminine, or spirit with soul, that the creation of all forms or channels or physical things results. This eternal principle runs all through the Bible, is the center of it, the whole substance of it. Seek ye the answers in that great book. Pupil. But many people say that the Bible is antiquated, that it is a book of fables and an old wives' tale, etc. Master. How does this concern you? Which is the more reliable guide, do you think? The spiritually darkened ones who criticize the Bible, or your own soul which knows light when it sees it? Are you going to do your own thinking, or shall you be content to let others do it for you, and wrongly? If we must go to other people in our quest of truth, let us resolve to go to ones who have the light of the Spirit. For instance, what does Troward say of the Bible? Let his wisdom be our guide here. He tells us the Bible is the book of the emancipation of man. He adds that this means man's complete deliverance from sorrow, sickness, poverty, struggle, uncertainty, from ignorance and limitation, and finally from death itself. This noble conception of Troward is exactly what the Bible is. With such a wonderful book in print, one should not be surprised to learn that it has the widest circulation of any book ever published, that is still the world's bestseller. If the Bible were not truth, it would not live through so many generations and still hold its preeminent position. So let us proceed on the assumption that Troward is right, that the Bible does contain the secret whereby the art of living a perfectly free and happy life may be attained. Pupil. But the Bible has never been a very interesting book to me. I have thought of it as an old world fable. Master. It was uninteresting to you because you did not understand it. Nevertheless, it is a most scientific book, full of interesting facts and life-giving truth. The finest book ever written about the greatest of all the sciences, the science of life. Pupil: My parents were religious people, church every Sunday morning, prayers every day, and all of that. But I could never see that they were any better off, or any happier, if as happy, than the neighbors who never went to church. But I shall be glad to make an honest effort to understand and follow whatever you outline, even the Bible if you say so. Master: I know so, and because you are honest in your desire, you will be honest in your thinking, and honest thinking makes a true student. Because you truly wish to understand the art of living, you shall come to know it, and when you know life and really live it, you are certain to love it. The Bible is, I repeat, the book of life, and of life's immutable laws. Remember always that life's laws contain within themselves the solution to every human problem. Indeed, wisdom is the beginning of magic. The Spirit of Christ, or intelligent life, within us is the light of each of us. It will always make the path easy, interesting, and joyous, if only we will study and understand how to use our own divine power, and then really use it. Once one has formed the habit of looking to the Bible for the answer to all problems, it becomes to that person as a lantern carried on a dark night. The next steps ahead may be in total darkness, but when you approach the light, you carry illuminates the path, and you know exactly where to step and just what to do. Your feeling is influenced in the right direction. It is true that the Bible veils its most profound secrets in symbols and parables, but the wisdom is there for the earnest and consecrated seeker. Maybe the author was right when he wrote, "The true artist finds that the materials for his arts are ever present, but the ones who can discern the possible uses of these varied materials, and who possess the instinct, intuition, and training to put them to their best uses are always few in number. The materials out of which art is made are ever present, but the artist appears only at intervals. So it is with the mysterious force we call life. Every person has it, but the ones who understand and use life's finest possibilities, and who get out of it consequently its very richest growth, are really very few in number. So let us put into the study of life our very noblest personal energy." Pupil: It seems to me, judging from what you say here, and from what you have already taught us in these lessons, that our perfecting of the art of living and loving is based upon the training of the mind and feeling to the point where we shall find as much joy and satisfaction in self-discipline as we formerly found in self-indulgences. Am I right? Master: Yes, once one has gone that far on the path, he is then around the last turn, and on the way that is straight, the path of splendor that leads directly to conscious union with the Father. The Bible says the art of really living and loving life centers around the record of man's thoughts and feelings, his aspirations, inspirations, and experiences, on his discovery of the life spirit as ever-present help in trouble. When a man has found his real self, the God self or Christ radiance within, when he has discovered the infinite possibilities and potentialities with which he is forever surrounded, when he lives these things and loves the life he lives, he becomes the true artist. Then he will use the right materials. Then will he produce the results desired, in a form of the picture that he originally conceived. Pupil: Suppose one has never had the advantage of higher education, that one's whole life has been commonplace and restricted. Would such a one be able to understand and apply these beautiful and interesting truths? Master: Yes, indeed. One's station in life does not make the slightest difference. One may be a woman who is trying to cook a good meal in the one and only room that she has, on a one-burner gas stove. One may be a man who is a shoe salesman and who spends his whole time every day trying to satisfy woman customers who insist upon his trying to perfectly and comfortably fit dainty shoes to their large feet. One may be a king or queen, or a servant or a pauper, high or low, exalted or humble. Man is a spiritual being, so long as he can think he can always change the outer or physical effects to suit the desire of his heart. And the very first steps lie in the thought and in the feeling. Pupil, when one's whole environment is one of poverty or illness or other dark limitations, how can one have beautiful and hopeful thoughts? Is it not true that the environment influences one's thoughts and feelings? While one is forced to live in the same adverse environment, I do not see how there can be much change. Master, if one were perfectly satisfied with an environment such as you described, there could not and would not be any change. But if one were divinely dissatisfied with such conditions, and very much wished to change them, it may be done any time, as completely as one may wish by resort to and to use the laws of life. Suppose, for example, that you would like a position that is more agreeable, more lucrative, shorter hours, etc. If you go forth to look for such a job, by all means start out with a feeling that you have something valuable to give an employer, and not go out to see how much you can get. If you give, the getting will automatically follow. Carry the light of God consciousness with you in seeking betterment of your position. And when you approach your prospective employer, let the light shine. Suppose, too, that you wish a better, more comfortable house in which to live. The very fact that you desire this change is proof positive that it is for you to have if you will meet the requirements. Many persons try to bring harmony into a home by getting a larger and better home, or by changing companions, by moving into another community. Pupil, that would help, would it not? Master, temporarily it might, but it would in no sense endure. To attempt to bring happiness or freedom into one's life through outward changes only is not wisdom, is not true art. Such is misuse of the divine materials. The change must occur within, and within first. It must first be established in mind, and firmly enthroned there, it is to be other than only temporarily effective. As long as a trend of thought remains the same, the result will be the same. The law of life is, to change an effect, the cause must be changed first. Cause leads, effects follow. Thought is the cause, conditions are the effects. Pupil, does one's longing for beautiful surroundings, for health and freedom, for a lovely picture and perfect balance, come from the great artist who has made all of nature? Is it he painting his ideal picture for us on the canvas of our individual minds? Master, yes, God is mind, life, intelligence, power, beauty, love, harmony, etc. If any of these things are desired by us, and they are, then surely the Creator of them all must have planted that thought seed in a mind. He must have whispered into that mental ear and that spiritual heart that the truth is yours. God has chosen you as a holy instrument through which to manifest all of His beautiful and wonderful qualities of life. It is the divine order and will that you should manifest that particular thing, that particular place in life. End of chapter.